Okay. Good evening. Can you guys hear me?
It's like kids in class.
Hello? Okay, we're going to get started. Okay, at this time, I'm going to call to order the meeting of the Hamilton Wenham Regional School Committee, and we'll begin by inviting you to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, as we get started, I want to remind everyone that this meeting is being recorded and live streamed on HWCAM. Jen, would you read the land acknowledgement, please?
The Hamilton Wenham Regional School District would like to acknowledge the Massachusetts tribe, the tribe of indigenous peoples from whom the colony, province, and Commonwealth of Massachusetts have taken their name. We would like to pay our respect to the ancestral bloodline of the Massachusetts tribe and their descendants who still inhabit historical Massachusetts tribe territories to this day.
Thank you. Okay. Next up on our agenda, we have an opportunity for citizens' comments. I'll give Mr. Tracy a moment to get the Zoom link up and going to see if we have anyone there.
On my third try here. Come on. There we go. Three strikes. There we go.
It's actually comforting to see that someone else has to click as many different things as you.
I had it open and then it closed and then it opened back up again.
All right, so it looks like there doesn't appear to be anyone on the Zoom opportunity. If there's anyone in the room who's going to offer citizens' comments, okay. If not, then I will forego all the information about citizens' comments because it looks like we don't have anyone who wants to offer one. All right, and at this time, we'll close the Zoom. All right, thank you. Next up, I think, is it Amy?
Me.
All right, Amy's going to read a portion of our school committee protocols.
As elected members of the Hamilton Wenham Regional School Committee, we, including the superintendent, accept the high honor and trust that has been placed in us to ensure that the students of the district receive the best education possible. To that end, we hereby commit to the following in the conduct of our business. Number 10, members will refer constituent concerns and complaints, including issues related to district personnel, to the appropriate person within the district chain of communication.
Thank you. And to you, Trent, with a portion of the mission statement.
The Hamilton Wenham Regional School Committee will lead and inspire a district that attracts and retains high-quality educators by acknowledging and respecting their expertise and professionalism.
Thank you. All right. Next up is our consent agenda. Does anyone have any items that they would like to have held from the consent agenda? Okay. Hearing none, I think, we are going to be in need of a secretary for the evening.
Oh, a secretary for the, I wasn't.
Yeah, both our secretary
That would
and
mean reading my
our
writing,
assistant
which is-
secretary are not here. Jen, would you be willing to do those honors?
Certainly.
Do you need somebody to move a second?
Just getting
Need a
sounds.
move?
Yeah, I just need a motion on the consent agenda.
Okay.
Sorry. I move that we accept the consent agenda as written.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Amy Kuhnberger. All those in favor? And that is unanimous of the 5 members who are present, and the motion passes. Thank you. Okay. And now to you, Mr. Tracy.
Thank you. This is exciting for me. I get to present this award one time a year. The individual that we are presenting this award to this evening was actually a freshman in my last year as principal. So, Isabella, can you join me? Thank you. Isabella Fazio is, without reservation, a standout at Hamilton Wenham Regional High School. We can attest to her exceptional academic prowess, outstanding character, and fervent commitment to making a meaningful difference in the world. In her school counselor's 27-year career, she has rarely encountered a student as cerebral and dedicated as Bella. Her drive and determination to pursue a PhD in English and become a college professor are truly commendable. Isabella possesses a unique passion for the English language, recognizing its analytical and storytelling capacities, and she approaches every endeavor with an open-minded, objective perspective. One of Bella's most admirable qualities is her fierce advocacy for change, standing unwavering in her beliefs irrespective of social pressures or peer influence. She is a self-reliant, dedicated individual, deeply committed to tasks and causes that align with her interests and values. Having experienced the transformative impact of celebrating diversity firsthand, she is eager to continue using her powerful voice to facilitate growth and inclusivity within her future academic community. Bella's intelligence and creativity are beyond doubt. She exhibits a remarkable drive for self-improvement, often utilizing her downtime to teach herself new skills, whether it be mastering the art of crochet or finding innovative ways to support others during a challenging time. Her ingenuity and compassion shine through. In her academic pursuits, Bella consistently challenges herself by enrolling in the most demanding courses available and excelling as a three-sport athlete, member of the school band, and a student leader. Her work ethic and positive attitude extend beyond the classroom, evident in her role at a local restaurant and her passion for art. She also possesses a deep understanding of the influence of coaching on a player's love for the game, as demonstrated by her contributions as a Little League coach and soccer referee. Bella's commitment to community service and advocacy is a testament to her dedication to creating a more inclusive and understanding world. From participating in cultural exchange trips to challenging cultural norms and prejudices, she consistently exhibits a passion for social progress and empathy. Moreover, her active involvement with the Hamilton Wenham Human Rights Coalition and her ability to advocate for positive change showcase her courage and conviction in promoting a just society. In Bella's own words, she aspires to nurture generations of empathetic, critical thinkers. Her unwavering determination, relentless work ethic, and deep-rooted passion for creating positive change make her an exceptional candidate for any academic or professional opportunity she chooses to pursue. Bella is a remarkable individual destined to leave an indelible mark on the academic and social landscapes she becomes part of. Not sure you need to go to college. I think you're all set. But it's my pleasure as superintendent of the Hamilton Wenham Regional School District to award our valedictorian this year and a certificate of academic excellence from the Massachusetts Association of School Superintendents. Isabella, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
We're gonna take a picture. Is that okay? Can we do a group picture maybe?
I was just going to say, please, we would love a picture if you're willing. And thank you for coming to
Thank you for
be here. That was so wonderful and amazing to listen to, and we are in awe. I think I can. So thank you. Yes, if you're willing to do a photo op, I think this is if you're.
Do a little photo op. Background.
So where are you going next year? I don't know yet. Okay. Fair enough.
Any way you choose.
I had a friend who went to Skidmore. She really liked it. It's beautiful. Isn't it?
great. We've known about it a long
Is that the last name? Fazio?
It looks better with the nice blouse than the actual jewelry, which I don't.
So impressive.
It's really, she's always been quite remarkable. You can tell she's really special.
Okay, well, that was really
Elementary school.
fun and so impressive.
Very impressive.
Yeah, wow. Okay, now on to more routine things, I guess.
Are we ready to vote on this? Is it gonna snow some more?
Yeah.
After today, I was like, maybe we should wait.
Exactly. So this, the next up is a vote on the last day of school, and this actually occurs every year. And we feel fairly confident about the last day of school, though today made it a little iffy.
Because I put it on the agenda. As soon as I put it on the
Exactly.
agenda. It's going to be 60 next week.
So there is a memo there on the agenda. Oh, you have it up there.
Yep.
David, are you ready to give us a motion?
It's just really this line here. The vote to change the last day of school.
So I'm like looking for the date, and I think it's gonna be wrong because Hamilton Wenham's gonna get a full week before me. Kids are gonna trash
Well, we
my
haven't
house.
voted on it yet.
Right, so, like, the 18th, like me.
He's stunned.
Right.
That's going to June 13.
Okay, I move that Hamilton Wenham Regional School Committee vote to make the last day of school June 13th, 2024.
All right, second.
Second by David Frankel. Is there any questions or discussion?
Again, just angry, week before me.
If something weird happens, we'll come back, but
Yep.
I'm hoping no.
Let's hope not.
You just give a second on it.
Looks like we're ready to vote. All right, all those in favor? And that is unanimous of the 6 members present, and the motion passes. All right, next up, as you all know, there's been some discussion about school start time, and Eric's going to provide us with some feedback from the survey.
Yeah.
And tonight's mostly informational. I wanted to put out there publicly, but also to give everybody here a chance to review it. 830 responses. When I printed this out, I think it's up to 855 and continuing to grow. Keep in mind, we did ask people to put one response in for each child because some people have a kid in elementary, a kid in middle, and a kid in high. So it covers individual children if you're looking at it from that perspective. Some very interesting answers. I think the 42% of people who wake up by a person waking them up, that would be my dad yelling at us in the morning. But even some interesting facts on kids are eating or not at home. We're looking at the possibility of a breakfast program for next year. So this helps me feel a little bit better that we can feed 20% of our kids who may not be eating in the morning. And then really some interesting data on the start times, and it's individual for their kids, so it depends on their kids. You have to kind of dig in a little bit deeper, which we can do as we get more information. How kids get to school, half the kids take the bus and 40% get driven to school. And then we asked for specific times when kids are at bus stops. I mean, we have kids at bus stops at 6:50 in the morning waiting for buses. So in the winter, that is dark and cold. And then some feedback, and I think it's important for us to look at, the one of many pieces is the childcare piece. There are a number of other pieces, so the feedback on the childcare piece I think is really important. And then whether they can make arrangements or not, yes, no, maybe. Most people kind of just put NA, like no big deal, I guess, and that was interesting. And then whether they could change the schedule or not, most people were, it wouldn't be too big of a deal. And then this was, I thought, interesting, 60-40, support a swap of the school start times. And if you go down to the end, to the feedback, you'll see why it's 60-40, I think, because some people said, I wouldn't do an immediate swap, but I might adjust the times a little. So there were some interesting ideas that people put in for feedback along this next part down. Lots of support for it. You know, people understand what the research says, and I think people also understand some of the pieces of the puzzle, like athletics, busing, childcare, opportunity for kids to work, opportunity for older kids to watch their younger siblings or neighbors, you know, kids. So there's a lot of pieces to that puzzle. I reached out to Burlington Public Schools. They did a swap a couple years back, actually, and have been fine. The earth didn't fall apart, and, you know, they still play their sports, they still do their thing, but it's one of the interesting pieces the person I spoke with gave me was take some time to do it, because you got to give people the time to make the adjustments. So don't do it right away. Dig in, get more info. When you think you have enough info, dig in and get more info. So this is really round one. I think it's the first time we put anything out. Got some great information so far, and we'll continue to dig into this. And I just wanted everybody here to see it, and I wanted the public to be able to see where we were going with it.
Did they make an effort to see whether there was a, you know, since one of the hypotheses is that the later start for that age group improves their learning, improves their test scores. Did they detect any shift so far in their test scores that they?
I didn't ask them about test scores specifically. I was mostly talking about logistics, like what kind of logistical things that they ran into. Briefly talked to someone in Newburyport. They are kind of a little further ahead than we are in investigating this, and you know, it's been a conversation with parents that are younger kids that, like, my kid's up at 5 a.m. every day, you know, and I could send them to school earlier where, you know, so I think people get it just generally, but I think the caveat that everybody has given me so far is, like, just take your time, make sure people are aware and understand if you actually make a change. So no change being made yet. We're just looking at what our options are and what types of things are available, and then we'll continue to get feedback. And I think I wanted everybody here to be able to see it, take some time to read through. There's some people threw some of the actual research right in their responses, so that was great. And we can chase out some more and dig deeper into some of these other things. As we dig deeper into it, we may come up with some questions as a group. That's what I would suggest. If you go through it and come up with, say, 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 more questions, we could push those out as kind of a tier 2 survey to say, okay, here are the questions that kind of came up. How do we work with this? How do we adjust that? So, interesting. Good information.
The other thing I noticed, because I actually did spend some time going through this earlier this week, how many people mentioned the early release on Wednesdays?
Yep.
Even though it wasn't like a topic at all. So that might be something we're interested in following up on.
I did a survey last year. Was it my first? Might have been my first year. And same thing. It wasn't specific to Wednesdays, and it was all about Wednesdays,
Yeah,
that whole survey.
no,
So
I
yeah,
agree.
there's a lot of that in here. It makes it difficult for parents to all of a sudden in the middle of the week. Believe it or not, it makes it difficult for us to schedule our school days too, and all of a sudden you can't fit all the pieces together. So,
I thought it was really interesting when I looked through it earlier that sort of the first half of the survey, everyone was like, well, no, things are going fine, I wouldn't. And then you go down and they're like, but I understand the research, so yeah, I would agree with changing it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some good info in here. I read through it. First time I read through it, I was like, wow, people took their time to really,
I actually read
Dig
through
into it.
the whole
Yeah.
thing too.
yeah.
Yeah,
Which
I was
surprised me,
impressed by
except
the
I was
number of
gonna-
people who responded. That has to be one of our higher
Yeah.
response rates.
Yeah, definitely. Usually we're
Definitely hit a nerve.
150, 180.
Yeah.
I think we have
Oh, yeah.
855 now.
Dragging teens out.
That's
of
what it
bed
was this
is-
morning.
It's a lot of nerves.
So I would suggest maybe committee members, after you go through this, if you have questions, send them back my way, and we can decide kind of, okay, what are some next steps? Talk about it at one of the next meetings to be able to just say, okay, let's develop some next steps. What do you want to investigate? Where do we want to get more information? And I can, if people want, I can continue to dig around for other schools that may have later start times. I know when I sent the questionnaire out to the North Shore Superintendent's Group that I work with, they were all like, well, if you're gonna do it, then let me know. So I think we all have that same vibe that we should do it together as a league, if you will. That way, it takes,
A lot of things.
takes a few things off the table, you know, science league, math league, any of those after-school activities, athletics. So, some things to think about, so.
Would this have any effect on beyond just changing bus times? Would it affect our ability to get the number of buses that we need to get people where they're going?
I don't think so, because we're using similar numbers on both sides, both earlier, middle, and high school sides and the elementary sides. We add a couple of buses on the elementary sides because of the transfer, but generally, it's just, we're getting a standard bid for 14 buses, 13 buses, I think it is. 13? 14, yeah, thank you.
I have a bus question. So reading through some of these and finding out.
Yes, we do need drivers.
I know that. Can I drive a bus? One of the thing that kept coming up was that some families opt to drive their kids to school because the bus comes at like 6:30.
Yeah.
Could that be solved? I know that we need to have like a bus driver shortage, but is that something where if we had more buses, that wouldn't be the case? Or is that just how the schedule works?
No, well, I think two things. Go back to when I was talking about just making that switch. So saying, okay, all your elementary kids are now coming at 7:40. Well, they don't have to, they could come at 8, which could push that time later. So it's really a derivative of when we choose to start school. And we need about 50 minutes to get the kids at the number of stops that we're doing. You could add more buses, it's be expensive. But yes, you could add more, but you could also just say, all right, we'll start, I'm not putting a time, I'm just saying, you could start elementary at 8 o'clock and you could start middle and high school at 8:40, you know, just as an example. And that automatically shifts to after 7 for pickups.
Right.
So it's a little easier, but still early.
And those guys tend to be up by like, either down by us, right? Because my kids get on the bus right at like 7:05-ish, so you guys are probably a couple minutes before me, down Maple Street.
About 2 minutes.
Right, and then up by the lake, right, all the small,
Oh, yeah.
right, getting the buses around there, it can be a,
Yeah.
'cause they can't like just drive around, they have to like back up, and that takes a while.
Well, doesn't it also change depending on how many kindergartners we have? Because don't most of the buses, I know the one in our neighborhood doesn't, but don't most of the buses like drop kindergartners off at their house?
Yeah, if there's kindergartners on there, they're basically putting them at their door, yeah,
Right, but
Yep.
if we have a bunch of kindergartners, then that increases the transport time.
absolutely,
How about
yeah.
good luck?
It'll often change the route. Sometimes they'll
Yeah, let my drive.
reroute buses depending on the concentration of kids in K.
Okay? Anybody have anything else?
Super interesting.
All right. Thank you for
That's
that.
some good stuff.
Yeah.
Coincidentally, this went out and Dante missed the bus for the first time ever after this one. Never, in 9 years, ever missed the bus until last week. He was just putting a sneaker on, he's like, oh.
Oops.
Well, my daughter mentioned, as I was going through this, because she was reading over my shoulder, that even though they don't get out at 3, most of the sports don't start until 3.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure how much of an effect, like, getting out later would actually have on the start of sports practices after school.
I think it's more about getting buses to get to other places.
Yeah, no, that's always an issue.
Okay. And it sounds like if people have specific questions or more questions, just send them to Eric. And, okay.
Yeah, great response.
Okay. I don't think Vinny, we don't have anything, right? No?
He's
Okay.
taking a rest.
Yeah. All right, moving right along. Moving on to committee reports. Capital Finance?
So at our last meeting, we went through the potential projects that are on the table with excess E&D funds, and
I'm going to
put them in
I'm going
order.
to interrupt you. I believe that's all true, and I think you missed a meeting here because I think Trent updated us on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, good deal.
I had to bug out. And we haven't met since then. So as long as you talked about it, I'm good.
Sorry about that. You were giving identical information, so that's good.
As long as it's out there, that's all I need to know.
Testing the new guy.
Get
that's-
confirmed.
Yeah, exactly.
Make sure you all know.
All right, thank you for that. And do you guys have a next meeting date or not?
Yes, we do. It's Monday, April 22nd at 1 p.m.
Okay, great. Policy?
Nothing going yet. We haven't been assigned anything from here, and if there is going to be a next meeting, it could derive from what we're going to put on the agenda for this coming meeting.
So, tell me, I want some clarity on, you're looking for the agenda item to be on the next meeting?
Yes, if I could.
Okay, and what is the title of the agenda item?
For want of a better one, is healthy buildings policy.
And is that, the reason I'm asking is because I have felt like, so I guess, can you just clarify for me that the policy subcommittee, and we don't have Julia, right? But we have Jen here, right? So the policy subcommittee voted to move an agenda item to ask the committee, the full committee, to review it. Is that correct?
Well, it was actually to see whether the full committee wanted to delegate to the subcommittee
Okay.
and the superintendent the creation of a policy.
All right, and what was I guess one of the real reasons I'm asking, so thank you for that clarification. So the subcommittee had a vote, and they said to vote to move that, to ask the full committee if we want policy to pursue that further.
Correct.
But I guess just want clarification, because I don't think before when we spoke, it was called healthy buildings.
No, it was called.
So what did you all vote on?
It was, I think it was called indoor air quality,
Okay,
but I thought we probably should make it a little broader than that, because it's really all related to health.
well, so I guess
You can call it,
concern is like, what did you all vote on? Because I want to do what you voted on.
yeah, well, it was, I'm pretty sure it was indoor air quality policy at the
I'm
time.
pulling up the agenda.
Okay,
I think it was too.
I'll clarify that. That was my recollection of what we
Okay.
called it.
yeah, if that's, I mean, if you have it at your fingertips, Jen, that's great. If not, you
I
guys can get back to me.
do. Well, I thought I did. Yeah, I think we should use the exact wording from the agenda once I find that.
Okay.
I don't
so-
think we should
all right,
change the
so-
wording in between what the committee voted on and what we're suggesting
all
now.
right. So can one of you, or I guess Julia, if one of you could just send that to me so that we get it right for the agenda. But
Sure.
it sounds like it's something along the lines of indoor air quality.
Yep.
Is that correct?
It's right here, IAQ policy discussion.
IAQ policy,
Discussion. That's what
okay.
the agenda item was.
That was what the agenda item was.
Yep.
And I guess maybe I'd be looking, okay. You guys look and see
Yeah.
what the vote was. And if
It
said-
was unanimous to move it forward.
Yeah, oh, no, I didn't mean that. Thank you for that. I really just meant, was it called indoor air quality
I
policy
think it was,
discussion?
I think it was
Okay.
under.
Great, thank you for
Indoor
that
air
clarity. I appreciate you walking through, that helped me. Okay. Negotiations, David?
We met-
We're gonna have a.
Yes.
yeah.
We have an executive session at the end of the meeting, but on Monday, we did come up with a tentative agreement with the office personnel, and then we are meeting again on Tuesday with the teachers. We got in the teachers' contract, but we can go more in depth on all of that in our executive session later.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, to you, Eric.
Okay, great. I just want to take a moment to demonstrate something. We have our website. People are consistently saying to me, I can never find anything. There's no calendar on the website. Well, I just wanted to show people that this is the first page of the website. When you open up our website, hwschools.net, here you are. Scroll down and you'll see the news and events. And on the right-hand side, there are a few items that are the week of the calendar, but you can also click on the full calendar. And it also gives some upcoming things. So a couple things I was going to talk about anyway is town meeting is this Saturday, 9 o'clock for Hamilton at the high school, and 1 o'clock for Wenham at the Bucher. Always exciting time. We invite people to come to the town meeting. Talk about, we're gonna put our budget forward that we approved back in February, so that's exciting. And we'll also, in Hamilton anyway, have some citizens petitions to discuss with the community related to the field project. There is babysitting. You have one more day to sign up. If you would like to have somebody watch your child or children, the National Honor Society does that at the Cutler School during the Hamilton Wenham Town meetings. This is a suggested donation of $10 per child. They will entertain your children while you are at town meeting, so if you need daycare or babysitting, I should say, please jump on the link on the webpage and sign up. You need to sign up by Friday. They don't take walk-ins because they organize around the numbers that they have on Friday. Big day coming up for the elementary school kids. It was hugely successful last year. May 17th will be our Bike to School Day. It was a lot of fun. We had police and fire and all kinds of other volunteers working with kids and making sure kids got to school safely, parents on bikes, and it was a lot of fun. And we'll do similar type of an opportunity for kids, and Abbey Velo once again, they'll be providing bike checks. They came to every school, went through any bike that was marked to be checked, and did it right there on site, which was great. Make sure the kids' brakes worked, and some of the things that need to be lubricated or adjusted were done. And then the annual CPAC Five Sons Pizza fundraiser is coming up the end of the month, April 30th, and that's where the police and fire again work with the Five Sons Pizza they'll do your delivery. So if you order a pizza and you want it delivered, it'll probably be delivered by one of our first responders. So usually Hamilton, Wenham, both Hamilton and Wenham Police and Fire, and they volunteer their time to do that, to raise funds. The funds have been always donated to the CPAC Special Ed Parent, thank you, Parent Association. And they use that for speakers. We just had a speaker that was in a couple weeks ago that was used, last year's money was used to pay for it, so it's a good opportunity. Also, this week we did a forum for, last week, excuse me, we did a forum on Wednesday evening for the Cutler School Project again. We had sent out postcards this time to every house in both communities. We got, I think, 63 people total showed up for the forum. Get a little feisty at the end, but it was good. It was all good. Good information. And we'll continue to do them. We'll do more forums. We'll probably do one every 6 or 8 weeks or so to get more information out. I also got to meet with the Young Mothers group on Friday and hold babies, which was even more fun. I did get to hold young Graham, who was probably fit in my hand. But it was also good to be able to meet with some parents who have kids who may not yet be in our schools but are coming, to kind of help them to understand the changes that we are looking towards making, to give them an opportunity to ask questions about what's currently here versus what we're looking at. So it's a nice opportunity to kind of make a connection with them and open the doors a little bit to getting more people in the community understanding what's happening with the elementary school project. I think that's it for me.
Okay.
The lights are.
Right, it's like the Grammys, so just shut the lights down, they can just stop talking.
The off music and so forth, yeah. And the
Anybody
hook.
have any questions for Eric? Okay. I don't think I have much. I was just going to also remind you all about town meeting. It's going to be a fun time. I don't think I have the only other thing I wanted to report on is I have been emailing regarding the regional agreement discussions And there is going to be some turnover on, or potential turnover on both select boards, and so the request was made to start after the elections, once they get reconstituted, and that the chairs will all get chairs of each committee. Our committee and the two select boards will get together and start having some conversations about the regional agreement, so, after the election. Do you have any questions for me? Okay. Topics for future meetings? I have yours. Okay. All right. Does anybody have anything else before I make the motion? I'm going to move into executive session unless anybody has anything else. Okay.
Just looking at me like it.
I'll move the motion if you like.
Oh,
To move into executive session.
oh, no,
Or-
I'm
or
going
you-
to
you've got-
read it.
You're going to read it.
Yeah. I move to adjourn into executive session for purpose number 3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining with office personnel and the teachers' union, where an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of the public body, and the chair so declares, and not to return to open session. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Jen Carr, and this needs to be a roll call vote.
Yep.
Trent? Jen?
Yeah.
Anna's a yes?
Yes.
Yes.
David? David?
Yes.
All right, and that is unanimous, and the motion passes, and we are adjourned into executive session.